Welcome back to Isaac! This is run 2, and hopefully this one time we're not gonna find another item like Bob's Brain, which is going to ruin our entire playthrough down into the ground. Despite having unlocked a couple of characters into the last playthrough, we're still gonna carry on as Isaac for the time being because I still have the basics to get out of the way, and I figure until we get our first real mom kill, we're gonna stick with the basic character of the game. Don't worry, there's going to be plenty more time in order to do playthroughs with the other characters, considering that we're still nowhere near close to scratching the surface of this one game. These flies, for instance, are a new addition to Rebirth. I kinda like these enemies because they always have this neat circling pattern all over the place. They hound you with style. Also, I do not like spiders, and unfortunately this game has plenty more spiders to go all around the place. So we've got Headless Baby, which is a pretty decent familiar for the most part. Whenever you walk around, he just leaves this blood creep which will damage everything. And unfortunately, we're not gonna even be able to test it out because this jerk flies. And remember what I told about him being the worst mini-boss of the entire game when you fight him with absolutely nothing? Well, you're gonna have your taste of him right now. We have absolutely no damage power-ups. There's even spikes in the room just in order to even be more of a dick to you because you can't even walk around the room freely, so all in all, this is gonna be a tedious boss fight. The easy way to do it without any kind of hassle is just to break down every huge head first into its small chunks, and then kill the small chunks before you carry on with the bigger ones, but yeah, blah blah blah, that's pretty much the way it goes. Envy's a terrible boss, I hate him. And once again, he gives nothing. Excellent. Thank you for shopping at Envy Mart. We will deliver all of the useless bombs that you want. Okay, now we're gonna have a proper taste as to what the Headless Baby can do. It's going to decimate this boss pretty fast, as you can tell. Earlier, the first time we fought that boss, it definitely went a whole lot slower than this, so you can see a slight glimpse of how powerful the blood creep can be whenever you're the one dealing it down on the floor. Also, I'm not bursting this poop in order to get items, but I'm doing it in the aim to just burst enough poop so that I get the item that you unlock while doing it, even though it's a completely terrible item, but we're here in order to showcase everything. Okay, these guys, I have no clue what the hell is up with them. These are tentacles and they do absolutely nothing. It's like, I'm not really sure what they even had to the game because it's just like, okay, just wait for me to die so that I can shoot you perpetually. So one of the new additions that Rebirth have is huge rooms. Honestly, I'm kinda mixed about these rooms because either they work really well or some other times like these they're pretty tedious and honestly you just want to be done with them really fast. I mean, as long as you take on these heads one at a time or two at a time in certain circumstances, you're not gonna have any problems. But I kinda dig this rock pattern in the middle of the room though. Also, generally, I'll always want to have more keys instead of bombs. Bombs are usually easier to find in this game, so this is definitely not a thing that I'll stress myself over. Usually, you'll miss way more if you have no keys, because then you won't be able to open up treasure rooms. And yeah, these guys drop troll bombs whenever they die. Sometimes I like to try to slide the bombs into them just in order to cause a chain reaction, but as you can see, they're not very threatening, so you can just do whatever you want when it comes to them. Hello Isaac, how you doing? Yeah, these roundworms are so very cute. And for the most part, they're not very deadly neither. You can anticipate their movements pretty easily. They just pop out, they wait for a whole lot, and finally they shoot at you. All in all, pretty easy to deal with. Oh, we've had our first taste of telepills, and they happen to lead us into the elusive super secret room. But with that said, even though it's labeled as super secret, they usually aren't that valuable. Honestly, I'd rather find the secret rooms that, for the most part, are easier to find than the super secret room. The reason why they're called super secret rooms is that there's a bunch of items in the game that will reveal secret rooms, like the world card for instance, but it will only reveal the secret rooms and not the super secret rooms, but there are items that will show both. Now Virgo is a pretty nice item because now we have no possibility to ever take any bad pills ever again. Every time we will take a pill that will have a bad effect, it will always be overridden so that it'll be positive instead. Oh, unfortunately in this one playthrough we're not gonna have anything new in terms of bosses. So I guess we'll talk about this guy a little bit more in detail. He has 3 different attacks, which is to either shoot this 3-way shot at you. It's usually wide enough so that if you stand on the other end of the room you'll be able to avoid everything. There's another move where it just dashes at you like that. It can be somewhat hazardous to dodge, and finally you can spawn little pooplet and then just keep on attacking you. For the most part, you can ignore the little poop, but it always has a tendency to just randomly ram into you because most of the time they just do whatever they want without really going for you to begin with, but you can never subtract the possibility that they'll hurt you. Now, here's what I believe is a change into this game. Before you had the Book of Belial in the original Isaac, I'm pretty sure you had to unlock Judas first, but now it's always available. And besides, Judas takes more time to unlock into this one game. Okay, and yeah, I really hate the tumor once again. I can never stress that enough. And yeah, that's also a change between the 2 versions of Isaac. Whenever you had these little nymph or embryo crawling thingies, there will be the boss bar because they're part of a boss battle, but in this one they managed to figure out the way so that you can fight them without having a boss bar, even though it's totally not a boss. We're probably gonna see the boss at one point, even though it's really rare, but nah, it's not really rare because there is one spot in the game where you will always see him. Oh, how I wish we could fly, because then we'd be able to get this chest. So, what the Book of Belial does is, for one room it will dramatically increase your damage by a bunch. If we then use it, we probably will need like 5 or 6 shots in order to kill those one enemies. And yet, remember that the Globins also take quite a fair bit of damage, but at least our blood creep is doing a good job of dealing them in. There's another enemy configuration for this one room, but unfortunately doesn't seem as if we're going to see it quite yet, because I think I always get the challenge room on the first floor of the caves. Also, sometimes you will be invited to take on some rather shady deals. You want to spend 2 keys in order to unlock this chest that could potentially be useful. Well, for this one time, it wasn't really that useful. Child's Art is one of those trinkets that usually is more useful whenever you play on hard, because whenever you play on hard difficulty, the health pickups will be rarer, so what you'll want is some means to stay alive, and this is exactly the item that you'll need. But on normal, however, health is not an issue. You'll never have any kind of trouble of staying alive as long as you don't get it too often, and oh yes, this is one of the best items of the entire game. Proptosis. This item flat out doubles your damage, and without even lowering your shot speed. This is as awesome as it is. Right now we only have 1 damage power up and Proptosis, and we can kill most of the enemies of the game in only 1 hit now. But the deal with Proptosis is that this damage will decrease the more you are away from your opponent, but still, this is a marvelous deal. So since we have bombs, might as well check out this one chest over here. Okay, so I didn't lose anything and I gain a key out of the deal. So, we're gonna figure out how secret rooms work. Usually, they need to be connected to either 2 or 3 other rooms, and every other room that it connects to must be accessible, like, without being able to fly. So that's one thing that will allow you to figure out where the room could be. Also, yeah, there's a trick that you can use in order to bomb more of these people at once, but for this one time, I didn't have this knowledge ahead of time whenever I did this recording. Okay, so we have Proptosis, a damage upgrade, and now the Book of Belial. I do not give this boss any more than 15 seconds of life. Peep is a boss that will become harder the longer the fight goes on, because his two eyes will pop out and will bounce all over the room, and finally they will block your shots, which is not a good thing, but hey, look at that, more damage, like we need it. Of course we need it. Because honestly, the fun part of this game is not necessarily the skill that is required in order to play it, it's just playing it and then stumble on a really dumb combination of item that makes your character ridiculously overpowered to the point that everything will die in only a fraction of seconds. So we picked up an item in the curse room that is called Whore of Babylon. Right now this item is useless, but eventually it will finally get in use. And yeah, sometimes you can get collectibles into the poop, so please do not let the grossness dissuade you from looking in for the rewards. And there's even going to be a trinket that will allow us to make any better use of the poop. Yeah, even at this range, I can still one-shot these enemies. And yeah, here's a trick that is useful in the caves and beyond. You can bomb boulders beside pits in order to be able to bridge gaps that you otherwise will not be able to cross over. Now, here's an item that may make our Book of Belial worth ditching, because it is indeed pretty powerful. The deck of cards allows us to get a new random card every time that you use it. The one card that I got this one instance is the Two of Diamond, which will allow me to double the amount of coins that I have in my hands. And here's why I kinda hate shops at times, because sometimes you won't even get a shop on a floor, instead you'll get greed, which pretty much destroyed the entire shop and decided to just use it as an ambush to attack you. Whenever he dies, most of the time he'll give you even more coins, which will make you go, alright, I can't wait for the next shop to come. And then you go to the next shop and greed is there once again. That asshole. Hello again, Gertie. It's been a long time. Okay, or maybe not. So, essentially, Gertie only has 2 attacks, which is to do this 5-way shot that is very easy to avoid. As soon as he or she puts her head inside of her giant mass of meat, that's your cue in order to simply switch sides, and the shot will miss you altogether. After a while, this boss is very easy to deal with. Oops, this time I got no Devil Room, but that's only because I didn't bring Book of Belial with me. Whenever you kill a boss with it in your hand, you will get a Devil Room. And yeah, the world will reveal the entire map, plus the location of the secret room, but not the super secret room. And it was worth it because... Okay, and yeah, the red fires can attack you, by the way, so be careful. We got the Hud Mushroom, but first I wanted to demonstrate something about the Book of Belial. You need to kill the boss with it, because if you kill the boss and then come back later with it, you're not gonna have a Devil Room. It must be in your hands as you deliver the killing blow, otherwise you're not gonna get a Devil Room. I was thinking that just having it will guarantee the Devil Room, but no, that's not enough. Ah, curse those knights! Ah, okay, thank you Blackheart for getting rid of the knights for me. If your Black Hearts run out, they deal 40 damage to all of the enemies in the room, so they're always useful to have around. It's like a super soul heart. Taking Guppy's tail at only 1 key is a gamble, but it might end up working out in the long run. Also, thanks to the warping chest, I didn't even have to clear the challenge at all in order to get my reward, so thank you Satan for sparing me the fighting. That's always good to hear. So, what does our Hud Mushroom do? Essentially, it makes your firing speed skyrocket at the trade-off of slightly diminishing your damage. But, as you can tell, I already have so much damage that it's barely a deal to begin with. So now we're just machine gun shooting big-ass tiers that will scale improportionately to our range. The closer we are, the more damage it'll deal. Also, Proptosis will always increase your damage, no matter how small the tier will end up looking like. You might need a microscope in order to be able to see it, but you'll still be able to deal way more damage with it. Now, I'm not totally crazy about the teleport item, but anything that can lead you to the I am error room is always welcome in my opinion. So yeah, that was our perfect time for us to use our 2 of Diamond card. We can donate money while buying the battery at the store, and that's a pretty good battery because it will allow us to charge our items way faster. And yeah, remember, I'm killing all of those people for a reason. So you can end up being teleported in any of the rooms on the floor. That includes the secret, the super secret room, the treasure room, boss room, and there's also an elusive room which is called the I am error room, where it's just one room with a guy called Error because it's a Zelda reference. And basically will give you a bunch of items for free. It's pretty hard to get in there, at least it is for the time being, because we don't have an item that is specially reserved for going there, but we'll eventually get an item that will allow journeys in the error room way more frequent. With that said, there's a variety of uses where the teleport item can be useful, and we'll come back to them whenever the time will come, because right now, I cannot say this is a situation where we need teleport, and he is a spacebar item. Yep, whenever there's laughter like that, you must be careful because there's a mom hand. And yeah, there's a mom hand because they're just styled after the Wall Masters or the Floor Masters from Zelda. I can never remember what their name is because they almost sound like the same. Oh yeah, these enemies certainly are one of a kind. Welcome to the miniature version of a laser in your face. And yeah, here's your cue in order to notice that champion enemies have more health than the regular one, because our black heart killed every other black fly, but hey, this one did manage to survive. Ah, that's one of my favorite bosses, because usually they tend to give very good items. This is the Fallen. Unfortunately, we're not gonna see all of its attacks because it's gonna die way too fast, but the moral of the story is, when you kill them, you get a random devil item. Unfortunately, this is probably one of the poorer one, and yeah, we've already went there because of the red chest earlier. So, we need to go deeper, just create a level skip that you can use. The reason why you'll want to drag it along is that every once in a while, it'll also create a hole that will lead either to a small dungeon where you can find an item for free, and sometimes it'll lead to the elusive black market, which is a place that offers shop items at the cost of your health. And yeah, those wall creeping spiders are really disturbing, the way that they just shoot their huge brimstone laser like that. Because that's the item that they use in order to attack, and eventually we'll get one of these too, so stay on the lookout. Some rooms will also contain these sliding gray spiky blocks, and whenever you kill all of the enemies, that's their cue in order for them to leave. But yeah, even though we have Virgo, we can still get explosive diarrhea, which is considered as a neutral pill effect because it can be useful to the enemies as much as it can be useful to you. It all matters on how good your footwork is. So yeah, the reason why this crawl space looks different is that it leads to the next area of the game, but unfortunately we didn't unlock it yet, so that's why it's kind of puzzling right now. We're gonna stop our playthrough whenever we'll be done with this one floor, because there's honestly not too many benefits from going any further down, because then we miss the possibility to be able to do anything at this level of the game, so we're not gonna cheat the system right now. There's no real purpose to it other than making this even longer. Right now, this is the final floor for her playthrough, but as we advance furthermore into the game, then the endgame will constantly shuffle back and back even more. Also, we've got some really good cards. The Hierophant gives you 2 soul hearts for free, and the Emperor allows you to skip to the boss room immediately. I could use my Emperor card right now in order to not do this boss challenge at all, but If I use it, then I won't be able to explore the rest of the floor, because when you go and fight the boss of Depth 2, then there's not gonna be any turning back. You cannot exit the boss room once that this fight will be underway, so we'll need to clear everything right now. Yeah, generally it's not worth it to do a boss challenge for only a normal chest, but right now I'm hurting for keys, so I might as well do it. Yeah, bombing these skulls will usually get you a bunch of tarot cards. This one is Temperance, which spawns a blood donation machine. And this is what Whore of Babylon does, by the way. If you have half a red heart, then you will turn into a demon, which will make you extra damage and will make you faster. As for the blood donation machine itself, well, you get money out of donating your life, and sometime, if you donate enough money, then you can get a portable IV bag, which will allow you to donate money, to donate blood, on the fly. It's about time that we become an outstanding citizen, despite being a crying baby stuck in his own basement. Oops, I just took a heart, so unfortunately the effect has just worn off. But hey, we can use the IV bag just in order to revert it back to normal. Here we go, we're a demon again. Honestly, I probably could just have brought the IV bag alongside, because I doubt I'm gonna get another one of these crawl spaces again. Yep, once again, I failed. The way to differentiate the black market entry to a regular level skip is, if there's a ladder, then it will lead either to the dungeon or to the marketplace. Oh, alright, now we have a new item that we can use, the bottle of pills. Considering that we have Virgo, we're only gonna get beneficial pills out of the deal, so there's no reason to not reroll the hell out of those pills all of the time. But hey, at least the good news is, I've got a whole lot of keys, so now I can go and check out on that locked doors that I saw earlier, which has 2 locks on it. Sometimes there are doors which are very well locked, and we will see the reason why. Also, stop collecting hearts already, you need to stay a demon if you want to be strong. Unfortunately, that's our only reward, a key beggar, aka the one beggar in the game that everyone hates. He takes your keys, and in return, for the most part, he gives you luck chests, which is definitely baffling, because that's almost like a total contradiction. Because you need to give him your keys, but by giving him his keys, then you're not going to be able to even open the stuff that he gives you. So yeah, we use our Emperor card in order to skip to the final boss fight of this playthrough, Mom. You always have to fight this boss in your playthroughs. So the gist of her fight is that she surrounds the entire rooms with these 4 doors, and she'll spawn a lot of enemies, but yeah, she's dead.
Isaac was cruel. His mother, fueled with the desire to serve her god, was bearing down on Isaac. I will do as I'm told, my lord. I love you above all else, Isaac's mother repeated to herself. This was the end of the line for Isaac. His mother was far too strong for him. But just as he accepted his fate, God intervened, sending an angel down from above to stop his mother's hand. And just like that, it was over.
That'll be it for this one run. We've managed to unlock a whole lot of stuff, including a new picture for our save file thing. Here we are triumphant over our mom, but our adventures are just beginning, because we still have to undergo a whole lot. And yeah, we've also unlocked a challenge, so might as well take a look at the challenge list over here. We're probably gonna start tackling it whenever we'll unlock all of the characters, because then we'll have a bigger selection of challenges to choose from. But right now, in our next playthrough, Isaac will go back down in order to go to the dungeon that has just been unlocked, the Womb.